everyone, welcome back to another Age of Empires 4 commentary. I am Beyond, and let's get right into these introductions as this will be our last Journey of Diamonds series, 2v2 series for Season 4. In the top hand side, we have me, myself, and I, Beyond as the English, in the pink. If you do want to change me to change out my civilization, go vote on that poll in my community poll. I'll bring it up right now. The English are currently winning, so if you want to see that changed, you better go vote. On the bottom side of the map, we have in the red Chitawa as the Chinese. And then the far right-hand side of the map, in the blue, Wizard as the Rus. And top side, we have John in the green as the HRE, a very standard here on the Journey to Diamond series, and a wonderful friend. So let's see what we can do today. The call out was initially, it was going to be let's just all in the Chinese player. The English and HRE very, very good at putting on early aggression. China not the best at holding off the early aggression. As you can see, I have a gaggle of sheep going on over here, which is always lovely. Fighting the Rus player for all these deer. Let's see if I can get it one shot. Boom, get it in, micro, done, dusted, go bring the sheep home, have an absolute flock behind me, which is absolutely wonderful. So, they're okay, but down in this level, you don't see, it's not too big of a worry. Hopefully I can get enough in time. The sheeps are running low. We already have a stagnant worker over here, because there's too many on these sheep, so hopefully I can bring more as we go. There's a waiting line currently for the sheep, which is absolutely awful, but then I just bring over the whole squad to bring this over as I wait for my sheep to return. Here they come. Starting over here, we have John. As you can see, we can switch to his point of view. Doing pretty well, floating some resources, which because he's going to go up to age 2. Unfortunate for my friend here. Get some serious idle time. You are preaching to nothing. There we go. We had a nice movement. We have the nice tree line, Arcane Chapel that gets both, and the stone, so maybe a 2TC kind of play. That being said, when we went into this, though, we did say, John, that we're going to do a early aggression, so... but then again, it doesn't really look like there's any good spots over by the gold, so I think that was the best play anyway. So I take that back. My friend, that was probably your best move as it is. So nicely done, nicely placed. Let's see over here. We have this Rus player, just going for those young berries, just trying to get up as much as possible. Just killing more deer over here, which is unfortunate that we didn't get this pack for him down. But I think it's going to be sitting nice and well for this bounty. Interesting hunting cabin. I mean, not the worst. It's totally fine. That I will say, just a small thing for all you Rus players. If you do want to do this, just put this hunting cabin over here. Because if you're going to be mining the same place that it goes, it's one of those things that it's going to essentially, when they're placed too close and nearby, based on the number of nearby trees, so it makes sense that if you place it over on the side that you're chopping trees, it will literally decrease in value as you mine more. So just a little thing to maybe solidify this build. Wizard, you're doing great, but just the small things that will really help you out here. We have the Chinese player going for the Imperial Landmark right there. And we're going to see where they decide to drop down the Barbican. There's some good Barbican spots over here, over here. Me saying, like, I don't know inevitably where this Barbican's going to go. That being said, I do work a lot, so I don't always remember exactly how these games pan out. And I do try to leave some time in between, so I can almost be surprised a little bit as we go on our own thing. We can move back to me over here. Actually, we can move over to Wizard. 300 bounty. Pretty nice, tier 2, which is always pretty good for the Rus player. Floating a little bit of gold, but it's expected with that bounty. We have the Chinese also floating a good amount of goods as well. So, but also got so many sheep. So super good play by everyone so far. Pretty standard as we go. Are you guys excited for the new season? Season 5's coming. I'm pretty amped about it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm excited. EGC TV, the tournament was going super well. I had a blast casting that. I have a bunch of new content ideas for the new season. Yeah, some highly edited videos, some casting. Trying to do better and better. I'm seeing so many nice comments in the description. I appreciate all of you guys. If you have made it to this part in the video, though, stop right there and go subscribe. I'm trying to get to 500 by the, by the end of the month. I don't think it's going to happen, but you never know. So let's set up ourselves ambitious goals and see if we can meet them. So I would really, really appreciate that if you guys did. And since I've already given you 6 minutes of entertainment, it's the least I think you could do at this point. It's a free. Turn a little bell on just so you know whenever I'm coming. And here it is, the Barbican going down smack dab in the middle. I believe that I spotted this. Yes, I did with my little scout. So I see this over here. I do have 1 or 2 longbowmen, so I'm going to send them out over here, I believe. But it's not going to really do anything because of how broken China is right now with how quick they build, which is actually one of the reasons why the Barbican Rush is being nerfed so hard that it can't be put into tile range of your TC, is because these Chinese villagers build so damn fast. It's absolutely absurd. I will say we might get one over here. No, they go right in. The scout takes the seed though from the absolute barrel shot, and it's super unfortunate. It looks like it's going to go down now. There it goes. Long range. Lose a scout. But at least I scouted this, so I at least know John is throwing up the defenses over here. I know I'm going to be dealing with some nonsense up front. Trying my best to overcome it. I did start to go for a TC because I knew that I needed just something to compete. If we're going to go late game with China, I'm going to need a TC. And the last time we did a TC, second TC in this series, it went super, super well. And I'm also trying to just get out of just like constant feudal aggression, trying to mix it up for you guys. That being said, obviously at the front of this game, I was like, we're definitely going to see. And we're seeing a ZHUGE all in, as you can see over here. No doubt about it. That forward Barbican is going absolutely crazy. We're walling off, and then we're just going to pump out ZHUGE, this little button right here. Can't wait for these bad boys to be nerfed as well. And they're going to absolutely rip apart my little army. But we're going to be seeing that for sure. And what we got going on over here on John has decided to fully wall off 2 TCs. I think we both agree to kind of do that in patterns. We're like, all right, you know what? This isn't going to work out, so we're just going to throw these away because it's just no point in not just kind of going up, because we've already lost the middle of the map control with this Barbican. That being said, I did send over these archers over here, knowing full well that I would have a very good chance of doing some damage. As you can see, 2 villagers have gone down, which is actually huge in this matchup. It's going to really put me in a good position. And then I sense that if he's putting up a wall over here, they might be putting up one over here as well, and my archers will get in position. So that will be 3 villagers going down, which is a really, really nice pickup for John and myself. And that being said, I have collected too much stone, which is unfortunate. I'm going to move these into position, but I believe the ZHUGE are out and about so far. Actually, they are not at this point in time. I will say some nice quality, some nice reaction time there from the Chinese player, moving them to over here, so not to get any damage done by these just goons just sitting over here doing nothing. There goes my TC on the deer, on the gold, and on the stone. I could have put it right here and it would have been a little bit better, but I think this is totally fine. And we're going to kind of go up that way. And yeah, floating a good amount of food and gold, but I think my next bet is to go up to Castle Age. I don't really sense that anything's going to happen immediately. I know that the ZHUGE are coming in eventually, but I wasn't really sure when, so I kind of erred on the side of caution and decided to go all the way up. John is safe and sound back here, preaching away with his prelates, getting all of his guys pretty juiced. We have some berries over here just in case he needs them. There goes the blacksmith. A nice little base set up. He's all walled in, safe and sound. And here comes the barracks to help defend. I did mention to John that we're going to probably see some early aggression coming out for sure. And there we go. I'm going to get another villager, which is absolutely massive in this matchup. And I'm going to get one more. So that's already 4 or 5 villagers that I've done a lot of damage to. So these have paid for themselves. These 7 absolutely paid for themselves, no doubt about it. I believe I'm just going to... No, they're going to get me... And there we go. If I can get one ZHUGE, it's not the end of the world. I don't know why I decided to misclick there. Oh no, if I don't get one ZHUGE, there we go. Get one more. And there comes the knights. So I get one ZHUGE and 5 villagers. Those 7 archers did well. As you can see, there's some spooky knights going on around. But John warned me about those, so back at home, I'm starting to throw down the infrastructure that I need. So I'm going to throw down 3 stables, as I think that that's the best thing I can do into this Shuganu mass. Just hit them with horsemen. I'm not sure if there's really anything that's good in Shuganu, which is part of the major issue, honestly. And that's okay. But I'm going to be sitting on very, very nice infrastructure at this point. Can we see? We can see I'm floating way too much gold. So that's an issue. But otherwise, Wizard's floating a ton of wood and everything. So is the Chinese player. It looks like they're going up as well. But I am trying to invest as much as I can into the infrastructure and just keep these villagers pumping. We see that John is also building up some nice infrastructure as well. So all those comments are really just getting into our head of like what we need to do to get better. John over here is sitting on a decent amount, but look at all these upgrades coming in for him, which is super nice. I'm floating, again, a little bit more gold than I would like, so I can probably pull these 3 off of gold. I think at this point, too, it was one of those things where like these were maybe piled over here. I saw I needed more food to make the Castle Age happen. I think my process right now was that I needed a white tower to defend this incoming rush that I knew was happening for sure. So at this point, I was like, if I can just put down, if I can just use these horses to defend a little bit and help me out as much as I possibly can. Hopefully I adjust that pretty soon. But that way I can actually defend what's going on. John's moving out with these spearmen, which is great, into the knights over here. And I think I decided to throw this this wall up as well. Just to anything I can do to kind of save myself. We do have Wizard going up, so you can see his Castle Age is complete. Looking very nice for this Abbey of Trinity. He's got Relic over here, and Relic back here. And one over here that John's defending with his life. But that's super, super nice setup over there. And John also has one Relic over here. I wouldn't be surprised to see him going up to H3. And we also see that the astronomical clock tower also goes down for China. But we're on 2 TCs and they're not. So the good news is that we are pumping away behind this. And we're starting to build up a decent sized force. I'm throwing down even more. This, I don't need the gold anymore, but I do have +1 defense, which is super important into Shuganu. As I say this all the time into this matchup, you need that as it's essentially like +3 against them. It's so, so good. You can see John feeling safe and sound. Not sure why these guys aren't getting involved in taking down this, but they are not. I asked John, do you need any help? He says, no, I do not. I say, well, I'm going to need help anyways, but I'm amassing quite a nice number over here. And I think at this point, these horses are heavy on food, which is why I threw down another farm. I usually don't like to do that. And I also have a good amount of wood. I start to move over, and I think at this point, John goes, no, I'm good, I promise. I do not see these rams coming out, but this wall is going to go up just in time to skirt by. And then I decide to move these over here, and it looks like they're going to be able to get through just in time. But it does start. As you see, that's super important. They do get through there, but now they're going to be funneled. And now at this point, I'm starting to panic. I'm like, oh, God, I need as many things as humanly possible. Here come my horses. The horses are going to get absolutely ravaged by this, but if I can get on top of them, it shouldn't be the end of the world. We see that John has put up a nice defense over here for these knights. Knights have decided to move back as well. And I just know that it's coming. Again, this is the only issue that I've had with this game so far. And as you can see, I think this just honestly went over there accidentally. But I'm starting to produce even more farms because I know that I need it. But I'm sitting in a very good position. The back here, only 1 TC. Back here, only 1 TC. So if this all-in does not work for them, which I've actually built up a nice size army. I think I'm just trying at this point just to save up as best I can. But I'm like, no, I need more stuff. So as you can see, I'm getting even more. I'm getting the +1 for this as well. I will say it's a little bit surprising to see the lack of Shuganu numbers. We only see 29. And for this type of kind of play, if you're going to go for Rams, you'd like to see a lot more on that part. But John's found himself all these archers, which is super, super nice. There he goes. He hits Castle. And I'm like, well, I got to hit Castle very soon. But at this point, I have enough gold. I just don't have the food. And I'm just like, how do I not have enough food? I have almost 5 farms. I could put farms over here and not over here. But I'm like, but then I realized like I'm producing so many horsemen, so I just gotta pause producing horsemen for a hot second, but I can't because I'm so scared of this incoming doom. And here it comes. I'm calling John. I'm like, hey, if you have anything, please come over here. It would be super super helpful if you could. And there we go. The horsemen are right onto the Shuganu. I take out 6 really quickly, which is nice. And now they're right onto it, and these archers are also doing a lot of damage. I'm trying my best to just to trade out evenly. I know that if I can just trade out decently well, it'll be okay. I have no idea why these villagers aren't attacking the rams like they should be, but I got absolutely throttled by these juiced Shuganu. These are castle age, which I did not realize. So I am not doing well in the slightest, but I'm going to continue to produce on the backhand side. Here comes my villagers to help take out these rams as best I possibly can. I was not expecting at all, and here I start to pull back immediately. I was not expecting the Castle Age all in, which was a new one for me. But I will say it is nice that my town center has a machine gun on it and is taking out. Here comes John's army. Um, what a wonderful teammate. And here I go. I'm like, I don't know what I have to do. So, but we're still sitting okay. I'm like, hey, we're on 2 TCs right now, both of us. If I can take out these rams that are going for a ram ride back here, then we should be good. As you can see, here comes the Roost player in for some defense, but John's army is able to push them off. He's able to buy me some time at this point. I should have been going up to castle. I don't know what I'm doing with these resources. It's an absolute atrocity. There it goes. I was trying to find the time and the resources to put it down, and I have way too much wood, which I will adjust soon as well. But as you can see, I'm starting with John being able to push these back, and also snipes the nest of bees, which is going to be absolutely huge. I'm able to throw down this, and once this White Castle goes down, I'm going to be A-OK. So John coming in with a huge save and just buying me enough time to throw this down. I think I should move over more villagers, but I just haven't had the time. And I knew that I was going to be the one that was the focus of all these things. I have so many horsemen, but they're not going to do that well into the Shuganu until they are fully massed up. At this point, it was probably not the best move. Maybe men-at-arms would have been the better move. But it does look like this White Castle is going to go up eventually. And once this White Tower goes up, we're going to be sitting in a very, very good spot. Because I'll be going up to a Castle Age, and we'll also have this incredible economy on the backhand side. We've been producing the whole time. As you can see, I still need to spend my resources way better. I think what I wasn't expecting is that I don't usually go horsemen too often, so I normally need a lot more wood to actually produce units, and this time around I actually didn't. So that was where I could definitely improve upon. But I do see how much wood I have, so I try to spend it really quickly, and there it goes. I'm like, well, now I just need barracks to spend as much of this as humanly possible. John able to come in huge for me to get up this White Tower, which now I feel safe and sound behind, putting up my infrastructure, which is always really nice. And as you can see, the reason I have so much wood is I am throwing all my villagers over there. I'm just trying to keep up with villager production, and I'm sure I'm going to be getting that +1 horse upgrade soon. There it is. Let's go check on John, see what he's doing. We have John over here producing a ton, beautiful farm setup, only the one relic, which is super unfortunate. And then our opponents over here, they could have, with the damage they've done, they could have switched to the 2 TCs at this point, but they decided not to. It looks like Roos has decided to go up for that second town center. But this Chinese player is pretty much it seems like they're a one-trick type of style. I went up with the trebuchet as well, so I could get this, so I could start to impact their position over here. They're even building forward barracks, so it looks like we're going to see some palace guards out of them. And once these get their castle age upgrade, I'm going to have a pretty decent force into this, which is always going to be very, very good. And John over here has tons of knights. So knights make me feel very, very safe, and Shuganu are not good into knights in the slightest. They're fine to feudal age knights. They're not so good into these types of knights. Let's see. Do we have that upgrade? It's on its way. So this army is going to go from pretty useless to pretty nice pretty quickly. That being said, am I switching to knights yet? No, I'm not. I am going into men-at-arms. So men-at-arms are the new selection that I've decided to do. Men-at-arms with the horsemen to get on top of the Shuganu, and hopefully the Horsemen then can stop them from running away, which will allow the men-at-arms to do their damage. There goes the ding. Ding fries are done. We have a ton of horsemen on this hand side, and we're still producing tons and tons of villagers, which is really nice. Honestly, it's a big improvement. I can see the small things improving so far, and John also being that legendary safety net. As you can see, we're both at similar counts. I'm rocking a lot more in production as well, just to continue to pump out. John's floating a lot of food. I'm floating a lot of wood. Probably don't need this many on wood anymore. And I'm also floating a lot of gold. At this point, I'm just getting a lot of resources because I have so many villagers. And honestly, it's definitely something to improve upon. I could probably throw down 10 more, or like 5 more of these and still produce off them, which is always nice. Am I going to get these men-at-arms upgrades anywhere? It doesn't look like it. And I'm actually pop capped, which is unfortunate. I'm probably going to be doing something about that very soon. Where do I throw down random houses? But we do see that this Chinese force is just sitting out here. They're just kind of waiting. A mangonel would be great into them. But unfortunately, I don't have the foresight to actually produce one at the current moment. It seems like an agreement that we're just not going to do anything about it. There goes the palace of the Elsbach Palace going down for John. So a quick imp. I think the best part about team games is that if you survive that first all-in, you're sitting in such a good position, right? Like if you can get that down and done, that's all this Chinese player has. So once these kind of get, there they go. They have all the upgrades they need. Do we have range defense level 1? It's coming in, or we have range defense level 2. It's coming in. And at this point, I'm just sitting here like, we can definitely do a lot of damage into this. With this many horsemen, this many men-at-arms, these ZHUGE can't do anything. It looks like a trebuchet battle, which is absolutely nuts. And there is the springhold, because I want to get this out of the way. I do not want my white tower to be impacted in the slightest. There's the first one coming out, and I make one shot, and it looks like they're going to start to move in. I get the one more shot, and somehow it lives. I'm going to lose this springhold, which is absolutely wild. I actually will not. So there we go. We're actually good. That's when I turn and burn. I'm like, John, it's go time. Let's do this. Let's catch them off guard and just go in. And I just start to pour in. We're attack moving. We're trying to get around everyone. There's so many ZHUGE, but at this point, the horses have made the surround. There's the attack move, and absolutely decimated. John comes over here, breaks down the wall, and he is in. And now we're all moving in. I'm producing as much as I possibly can off of my TCs. Still too much wood, and here comes the knights, absolutely cleaning up. I didn't want to the reason I went in even slightly before the ranged defense level 2 was because I saw that the army was just kind of chilling here, and I figured that the blue army wasn't in position. Because John had some views over here, so I made the call to just go in, and we absolutely wipe clean the army for the Chinese player, and now we are in onto their production. John's bringing the mangoes, but the mangoes are probably much not needed really against the knights. Not much they can really do. John's knights trying to defend that mango. There's no way they get it done. But now I just have men at arms and these horsemen just running rampant around everywhere. And at this point, I'm trying my best to econ up back here. We have some idle villagers going down. I'm trying to produce as many as I can. I should throw down more stables, and I'm not using my barracks at the current moment. So all things that we could improve upon. I'm out of gold, which is what's throwing me off. I'm like, where do I get more gold? I think I didn't really realize that this was killed over here. So that will be something I can adjust very soon. But as you can see, there's not much to really see anymore of the actual battle. It's just kind of like cleaning up the scraps. Honestly, I didn't even realize that this many men-at-arms survived, because I didn't even realize how tanky they are. So actually, I just finally pulled them back after they were chasing and just rode them back. John's starting to take out the infrastructure set up by Red and the Chinese player. And let's see how much. John's floating a lot of food, but doing pretty well otherwise in terms of everything else. And he's also age 4, so not too much he can do about that. He's got those golden knights in already. And at this point, if I had the gold, I would go up, but I do not. And I think I finally find the gold where I can get more of it. But it's one of those things where if you do not The two TCs played such a huge role. It's absolutely insane. And here we go. We're just going to be absolutely battering down the hatches. And it's one of those things where John was left untouched. No real all in. Same with the Roost player. Pretty much both untouched. Both Castle Age at this Imperial Age. But at this point, since I was able to defend better, Red was the aggressor. I was the defender. As you can see with the score difference, and now with the army difference, and honestly the econ difference in the backhand side. It's also a wild move not to go 2 TCs as the Chinese, but you know what? It doesn't really matter at this point. My player, John, aka the one that was left untouched, is in a much better spot. I start throwing spearmen into the mix just to spend anything that I possibly can. I need gold desperately, and I find even more of these really, really powerful and expensive Royal Knights, these Age 4 Knights, but I have so many horsemen that are just rolling in. It doesn't even matter at this point, and we're even setting up trade on the backhand side. John loves his trade more than pretty much anything, so it's always good. And now we're just streaming units in. That's all we can really do. I need to get more and more gold. So as you can see, I'm trying to do it up there. John has decided to take my gold on this side of the map, which I guess is not really my gold, but it's safe gold. There's gold also right here that he could take, but no one has taken that just yet. And he also has this plot over here, which is super nice, protected by that L's back. I am sitting on now 6,000 food, so I can't really do anything anymore. I know that I need more and more gold, so I'm trying to produce traders as we go. And we're just producing and going at as quickly as humanly possible. Here comes some archers as well. I saw that the Chinese player, and they were starting to produce some spearmen, so I went after that. I still have my siege over here, and we're just kind of waiting. So now we're just going to go back. We're going to get even more of an army on the back end side. 23 archers are in the queue, and we're starting to throw down even more stables, realizing I need more of those to actually be able to reduce. And there we go, more and more coming out. So those man-at-arms should be coming out as well. I didn't have any gold for a while, so that's why I was trying to spend down that food as quickly as humanly possible. I have a keep. It should have been up here. That's on me. But I wanted to just move up my my forward-facing place over here. They have able to kind of get one more army going. The ZHUGE are back in full force. But at this point, I'm just going to be throwing them at the wind, trying to get these nest of bees down, because that's so expensive for the Chinese player. I am able to get a few horses on the backhand side. As you can see, John is absolutely ripping them apart from the front. Those land sharks are just absolutely cooking them. And there they go. The nest of bees goes down. We clean up and absolutely obliterate the next residing force. We're starting to just get more and more soldiers as we go. And now we're starting to do the actual damage that we need to get this done with. We see the Chinese players running out of food, and there is the full, not running out of food, but running out of resources on the backhand side. Trees are going down, a keep is going down in desperation, but at this point we're now in on the infrastructure, and the more we can do, there's 26 horsemen in production. I just felt like this was the best way to utilize the resources that I had, and we also see that now I have enough gold to actually go to Imperial, and once I go up to Imperial, it's going to be rough. And where do I decide to place the Berkshire Palace? Right out front of their base. I'm always cautious of where to throw this bad boy, but when in doubt, throw it down right in front. That's always going to be so nice. And John's retreating. I'm making sure that I can put this up. And as you can see, they're sending in the boys over here to try to take out my Berkshire Palace. I'm able to micro backwards and not get anything stolen. And then we start to take out everything. I'm playing the front line for these archers as well, as to as much damage as humanly possible. John's cooking them with these land shakes, and we're getting in on these Streltsy. But what's really good into these Streltsies are these horsemen longbowmen combo. They're super cheap, and once they get in on them, it's super good. So when the knights are involved, it's really tough. That's where John can play a role. But these Streltsy also having a really rough time with these men-at-arms. There's the age up ding. I'm still lack of gold. I will say I have a few traders going back and forth, so hopefully we can get some gold going back that way. But the main focus is now the Berkshire Palace is up, is to do as much damage as we possibly can over here. We have some forward timber mining. I really should do something about this. I should just come and take this gold, because I need gold desperately. If only I've been able to realize that, or just create as many as many merchants as I possibly can, which looks like what I'm doing as well. And we have rams coming in, just to make it a little bit easier. Right out of the Berkshire Palace, I don't even have to worry about putting them down. And John's over here, dealing with all of these. Over here, he has 2 nice bombards moving forward. John's building up even more infrastructure. I have all these stables and all these barracks that I'm utilizing as best as I possibly can. Let's see, are these upgraded yet? They are not upgraded yet. Do we have them in the queue though? Nowhere is that upgrade in the queue. That's absolutely disappointing. So there's all these small things I could be doing better. I'm trying to desync the sacred site, but now the Berkshire Palace is in place, I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling pretty confident about what's gonna be going down. John is losing 3 bombards, which is super unfortunate, but nothing can really touch these, and it even affects his trebuchet, which is absolutely nuts. I'm throwing down another forward keep because I don't care at all. And now we start to see that these traders they're bringing back a lot. 175 gold a pop. As you can see, I finally have some gold to spend. We have 35 horsemen in the queue because they just use up all this food as much as I possibly can. I was going to say, go get them. There we go. We only have a few villagers building this up, so we need this so badly. And there we go. They're just volleying this down, and the villagers managing to stay up. And I'm just starting to move forward and go, you know what? I can just throw these away. It doesn't even matter anymore. So there I go. We start to go up. The Berkshire Palace is moving out. We have rams in the tank, and there they go. I'm just gonna start to dive over here. John's doing a keep battle over here. We have more villagers coming forward so they can actually build this keep in his base. And now I'm just starting to just attack everything. We do have a ton of damage was done. Maybe a mangonella or a nest of bees was in there. But now I have rams also coming out of this one. I'm trying to keep this up and about to make sure it can get going. But all these horsemen are just doing so much damage. And they're constant. I can make tons of them. There's 35 more in the queue. They'll always remain in the queue. It's so easy to kind of mass these at this point, especially with the English economy being pretty much all wood and all food. It's just incredibly easy. Did I get enclosures this game? Just to be sure. I did get enclosures, so I did make sure that I got some gold income as well. As you can see, the gold starting to rise, which is really nice. We have more traders on the way, just to be sure, and just be sure I get enough value out of that trade. We have tons of infrastructure going down, so that I can mass as many as I possibly can. We have the knights coming in over here with the Streltsy. Let's see if I'm able to get out of this one. Woo! Just in time. I almost messed that one up. But at this point, honestly, it's like, yes, you can clean up these, but now there's so many more coming. Look at, I'm now fixing up the army. We finally have the upgrades coming in for these horsemen and these spearmen as well. We have the Berkshire Palace and a keep on this side, laying down the network of castles, plus providing so much overarching fire down over here. We have enough infrastructure to produce as much as humanly possible. We have so many spearmen coming in just to make it worse. Let's see if I finally move over to this gold piece or John's going to take it all. We have John moving in as well. So sick and tired of these Streltsy, but the damage has been done. I mean, Red is staying in the game, and you're doing a great job. Spirit of the Way is also down for them, but there's no army for Red. Red is just constantly on the back foot, and Blue is trying to defend as best they possibly can. But with this forward Berkshire Palace, it's doing so much damage. We were able to get a relic down as well, and now I'm starting to chase these knights down with these golden elite horsemen, which are such good value into these Streltsy, because they're able to get on top of them and force them to stay. And all while this is happening, we have rams going in everywhere, taking down all the infrastructure. And now we just have another huge force coming in. It's just going to be a constant stream, a constant battle. As like I've just been constantly talking. This is a great way to end this season. It wasn't perfect, but the fact that I can now micro up My APM is not good. I realize that you can look up your APM stats. I've been reluctant to do so because I'm just nervous about it. I feel like it's going to be awful. But at least we're in a spot that I can actually, that John and I both can like kind of macro behind this. John is very, very good. He's better at me than macroing, for sure. Yeah, he's much better the person to just be left alone and sit there, and I'm usually the one that can deal with the aggression, can kind of understand what's the best counters to each thing, and then kind of give the gameplay there. And then John just really always has the army to back everything up. So an absolute excellent teammate through all of Season 4, and now I just have all these Imperial Age horsemen and spearmen flowing in, and there's absolutely nothing that the Chinese player can do about it. Look at all those torches. They're going to be burned down so quickly. I am pop capped with so many more things in the docket. We have even upgrades coming out. Everyone would be so proud, and I see this remaining small force, and that's what I'm going to go after. There's no way this is going up. And even if it does, it's going to be an absolute slaughter. And I start to attack these villagers, get so many villager kills, and there we go. Starting to attack everything that I can possibly find. They just build so quickly, and it doesn't even matter. I'm just like, I can just take this down in like 4 or 5 hits, and there you go. As you can see, the amount of horsemen here is absolutely crazy. And I also know that any trade's a good trade at this point, especially for me. And there we go. All those poor villagers are just now surrounded by horsemen, just getting absolutely one-tapped. I actually move on because I'm like, I don't really care. I need to stop your infrastructure from actually happening. Take down that granary post, take down all these farms, and then just start to do all the damage in the backhand side. And I'm like, you know what? Red's not in a good spot. We need to stop blue doing anything that they possibly can. So I start to move into blue's territory, and just not looking good for the other side. Where's John's army? John's army is over here. He's just focusing on trade. Look at John's traders. Was he going for a wonder? He's going for a wonder. Look at this. John's going for a wonder. I'm over here trying to end the game. John's trying to end it with a wonder. Go out in the Season 4 with an absolute bang. You have to respect that, though. And now I'm just finding villagers for days. Everything's going that, and they finally surrender. There's the GGs. If you enjoyed this absolute monster of a game, it's a culmination of all you guys' experience and advice over the course of the season. I truly appreciate you all. If you did enjoy, please do like and subscribe. It means the world to me. And also, if you do want to see something else besides English in the next season, go vote on that poll. I'm going to leave it open for 2 more days, and then it's done. Hope you guys have a great night.